Today we are repairing and replacing a sprinkler head that got damaged. It got pulled up some, and actually the pipe connection down below got damaged as well and is leaking, so let's get into it. All right, so the first step is digging down deep enough so that you can access the broken pipe and get the old sprinkler head out. As you can see here, we have a 1/2 inch pipe coming through, and what we're going to do is we're going to clean this one up. We're going to cut it, clean it up, and install a new pipe fitting so that we can install a new sprinkler head as well. First step here is just cleaning this end off here, and then we're just going to cut it back a little bit. And I'm going to cut it back at this point here. It looks like there's a little divot right here, so I'm going to cut it back to here so we have a good clean cut to put a new fitting on. And I'm just using some pipe cutters. And you can get those at any hardware store like Home Depot or Lowe's. Okay, let's get it right down the middle and squeeze till it cuts through. And there you go. Good clean cut. If for some reason this cut's leaving a little bit of a flared edge, you can use a deburring tool to round that out a little better. All right guys, next step is you want to clean this fitting up. This is a coupling, 1/2 inch coupling. And you also want to treat that with the primer. This is the primer, has an acetone base. And you just want to go ahead and do that all the way around. And what it's doing is it kind of essentially melts this PVC just a little bit. It preps it for the cement and gives it a better surface to adhere to. All right guys, our next step is going to be to get a little cement in this coupling and around the pipe. Make sure when you slide it on there, you hold it on there for a few seconds and give it a 1/4 turn twist. And what I mean by that is make sure it's turning at least a 1/4 of the way and gets that cement on there, all around the surface, good and even. Just hold it on there and eventually it'll just stay on. That's it. Move on to our next step. The next step is we want to figure out how long to cut this piece so we can extend this pipe far enough so that it's on the edge of the fence where the sprinkler head was before. All right, so I actually have a piece. I've got a piece here already that was already from a previous sprinkler head I've got, and it's got the elbow on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have this elbow land just next to the fence so it's getting a good full spray pattern right to the fence line, and then I can pretty much see halfway where it lands halfway into this coupling where to cut this piece. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut it right there. Okay, once we do that, we're going to prep this with some of the primer all the way around. If you guys remember from our last step, this has already been primered on the inside. The next step is just a little cement inside of there all the way around, a little cement on this side all the way around, and then same principle when you insert it. Hold it in there for a bit and give it a 1/4 turn so it'll get that good and on the whole surface. And hold it in there for a little bit. Make sure your elbow is facing upward because your sprinkler head is going to screw right onto the top of that. All right, it's in there. All right, so as you guys can see, this sprinkler head has been damaged already. So we're gonna go ahead and just swap it all out with a brand new sprinkler head that I already had. Just because this is right next to the fence, I'm gonna use a 180-degree head, which means if it's facing this way, it's only gonna spray all along the fence line and not onto the fence. That way you don't waste any water. So pretty easy. It's just going to screw right on to that fitting. So make sure you clear all that debris out of there too, if you guys can see that. All right, once you got that out, screw it right on. It's hand tight. You don't need to go crazy over tightening. And then what you're going to do is you want to make sure this head is adjusted so that the direction of the spray lines up parallel with the fence, if that makes sense. You're going to spray every direction except towards the fence. Okay, and then your final step will be to fill the hole back up with all the dirt and then do a final test by turning the system on. When you guys backfill the hole, the key is to make sure there is enough dirt under this so that sprinkler head comes up above the soil line, just below your grass, but just high enough so that sprinkler head, when it pops up, can spray out, but low enough that your mower's not going to hit it. Last step is just filling that hole back in and then do a function test. Many times the irrigation controllers will have some kind of manual option, and that's how I'm able to manually turn mine on outside of the programmed operation hours of my system. So go ahead and do that, and then you can check the functionality of that new sprinkler head. Last step is a quick function test, and looks like it's working perfect. That's a wrap. Please like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much.